Hi Saggies. So, why did I get truth be told, breathe, and change in the wind? Stay tuned and you'll find out. Alright Saggies, let's see. Sagittarius. Hello my Sagittarians, and happy birthday to you. I'm a little bit late. I am still dealing with my big kid, aka my dad. So let's go just right into your reading. Like, two cards just popped up. One was like actually 10 of Swords reversed. I was like, should I grab it or not grab it? And by the time I thought I should, I already placed it back in the deck, but I remember it was there. You can see it if you kind of go on slow while I was shuffling. But your card showed up over here, and let's put the bells aside for a second and see what is in the store. So then we are going to see how truth be told, breathe, and change in the wind really relates to all of it. I do have an idea. I mean, the fact that these two things showed up together, 29, we're in the year number 11. It's kind of like very personal for you, because usually in numerology a personal year starts with your birthday. So you're November like baby, right? November, December baby. So you're kind of like coming late in a year, which means that shift is basically going to happen to you right now. You're kind of like very uncertain about how to go about it. Like, I mean, which two things or three things you need to put together. It's going to be something that is very let's call it unlikely, that otherwise would be kind of like gelled. But I really like that this is kind of like coming through. It almost looks like it's going to something that's going to happen. I have been feeling your energy as a really, really heavy burden. In fact, this entire year was like really not easy for me. And for some reason your sign was the one that I was like able to pick up the most, aside from mine, or even more than Aquarian. Aquarius, I would say. A Leo was another one, and Scorpio as well. And maybe you have actually seen it from my readings as well. But Sagittarians, I'm all of a sudden feeling that the energy that is coming through is going to be much, much later. It's almost like the vision that I'm seeing, that when I'm talking to you, is the vision of kind of like washing through. Let me just get my angel cards and actually pull one, because it is feeling so strong like right now, that almost like I feel like we are having celestial help here. There you go. Release. It is like, oh my gosh, doesn't want to stay here. And look at what we have here, like trouble. It's kind of like motion. It's kind of like you're leaving your baggage behind. That sort of thing that I'm feeling. Okay, so let's put all of these cards down. I'll be telling you the names, so that way, and this reading is going to be short and sweet, guys. Just, you know what, I would advise, it's the last call. I still didn't start on my monthlies, on my annuals, and this is going to be the last call for you to get this like pre-deal, like $19.95 for one sign or $39.95 for all. This is it. The moment when I make the first one is jumping up. So 6 of Swords, the first card. You're having a 5 of Cups. There is this another theme of 11. 11 is very spiritual. 11, my number is 11, and I cannot tell you how much I hated it all my life. 11 tells you you're not here for you. You just cannot be selfish. And I wanted to be selfish. I wanted things to happen for me. I wanted like all the stuff that humans want, like that family and children and all this other stuff. But like, things were saying to me like, no, you have to serve. You have to serve. This is your path. And it kept shifting me, and the more I was like struggling, the more it would shift me back and back and back. This is like what's happening here, and you're feeling this way. You want to kind of like fight it, and you're meant for something much bigger, which I'm now realizing when I'm doing this, and all of a sudden that whole pressure stopped, and things are all the time opening and working. So I was like swimming upstream, and it was hard. It was exhausting. I was not getting anywhere. you're becoming authentic. Look at this, like you're leaving certain things, you're leaving certain people behind it. This is like your card of ships, and it is reversed. So something can sail out. Maybe you have missed some opportunities. Maybe somebody else missed opportunity to be with you. It kind of like can happen in kind of like more ways than one from what I see over here. There's like also some kind of like note that I am sensing from you, nostalgia. But you're not sad either. You kind of like feel like I see this like twinkling lights that I kind of like created here for Christmas, but I'm feeling from you, you kind of like want to be reborn. You want to be refreshed. You want to go in a new direction, right? And there you have the Emperor. Like something in your life cost you stability, or something is very destabilizing. You want to control. Look at this fire. The fire is all around you, which means, but these two are reversed, which means that there is like some kind of blockage. There is like some means of also sadness, of kind of like you want to move forward. There is like this change in the wind. There is this repeat over here, but there is like remorse. There is this sadness. There is like coming back to some kind of like old things. Well, that's also hello Mercury retrograde. This Christmas is not going to be fun. Also, a word of warning. Oh, I hate the word warning. Okay, advice. How about that? I can hear you guys say, well, you're not going to give me advice. Who are you, my mommy? Anyway, just insert a word. Please put me in the comments which word would you like me to use in this kind of situation when I'm being a smart buddy. Christmas gifts, don't do anything expensive. Mercury retrograde is going to be a whole bunch of things. For example, I just changed my credit card, and I had to give the number to my internet subscriber, and I was just calling this lady. She said, oh, you'll not believe it, like you keep giving me a credit card and it keeps kind of like disappearing from my screen. I said, just relax, lady, it's Mercury retrograde. Juggling. Was it you or somebody else juggled you? And don't jump on me. You always get it coming, oh no, Kat, it was him or it was her. It was somebody else. I just see juggling. Because guys, this is how it works. I'm picking up on the energy. And that energy is picking up all the relationships that you have. And the other Saggies. And the other Saggies. And everybody else who is involved with Saggies. There is somebody who was maybe not paying attention to what is immediate. And was maybe like thinking the grass is greener in their neighbor's garden. Sort of a thing. Maybe it's also picking up on somebody who was striving for something special. And you really felt very destabilized. There's like this essence. I'm definitely picking up on some kind of like essence. So somebody's going to be telling some kind of truth. This might actually come to you as a shock. But we will see if we kind of get a tower or anything else. It could be painful. I will not lie to you. It can actually bring and open some old wounds. But there is happy ending over here. There's like something that needs to be done, because I'm telling you, I'm really picking you up as kind of like washed and clean, squeaky clean kind of a thing. And I'm just seeing 2:22 p.m. on my screen. So you guys are really kind of like drawing that 11s and 22s. 11 is like healer, and it shows up to people who need to be healed. And if you are number 11, then you need to be a healer. And most healers are very argumentative. Most healers are, they need to go through a whole bunch of school of hard knocks in order to be able to give that gift, because you really need to reach certain humility to get that. Did you get that humility? The Hangman is reversed. That really tells me that sacrifices need to be made, and they have to be made. And somebody is going to claim here that they are making those sacrifices and they're making those adjustments when they are not, right? There's like not much struggle. Kitty is already here on the floor. You're not kind of like all freaked out over here. Honestly, this reminds me of Safi. I have silk curtains in my bedroom. Those the peony ones, and she just loves to climb there. Siamese cats are climbers. One time she tangled herself up in tassels, and it was kind of painful to get her out because she was freaking out. And then she stopped, but I think she forgotten. Now she's back. So see, over here you're realizing, you know, oh my gosh, I'm stuck, what do I do? But you're kind of like trying to readjust all the positioning here. You actually are not really struggling. It is like situation when somebody says, oh, what I did for you, but it was like really nothing that they really consciously did. It maybe just situation worked out that way, and they just kind of like served it that way. We have the devil reversed, which is good. And I really think that's why I saw this kind of like wash thing. I definitely see there was like some situation, and I get it with you guys all the time. Not only that I see 2 people or extra person, I see even 4 and 5 people. It's just like, oh my god, Saggies, this was like just complete mess. So there is like somebody else that is involved over here. There is like either an ex, or you are still kind of like thinking about your ex, or still want to be with your ex. There's like somebody, I told you, like somebody put a spell on you. I mean, I'm saying this facetiously because it does feel that way to you, that like you cannot shake somebody off. And you maybe feel that you have made lots of sacrifices for this person, but they don't. And that's kind of like where you're stuck. Like, I have done this and this and this, and why in the world this kind of like didn't happen? They have a different attitude in all of that. It's kind of like really, really interesting. You're getting Capricorns, you're getting Aries energy. This is something also about money, and this is also coming up about something about being stuck and moving forward. There is like situation that is like holding you back. Look at this. This is really talking about boundaries. This is in your environment. This is like what is happening on the outside. Here we see this, I guess, maybe it can be a game, but it can be really hissing in this like 5 of Wands. So what's happening over here is like that basically the point of this kind of like win, this gift, getting this like mousy here is completely lost. You may be dealing with hostile environment. You might be dealing with people who are not understanding you. Maybe people are simply walking over you, or maybe they're telling you that you're walking over them. It can be a whole bunch of things that will be happening. This is kind of like destabilizing. Now you're seeing these 2 5s. It's going to be very wobbly month. And then we're having hopes and fears. You guys want to be a dreamer again. 7 of Cups, when it shows up, you know, it shows like that we can dream up whole bunch of possibilities, and these possibilities can be a new person, something pleasurable. Do I really want to go and explore my hobbies? You know, what am I going to do about me? But you're also fearing that maybe, you know, everything is just going to be in vain. So you need to get off your, you know, behind their ear and just like do stuff. 7s always say, so what's stopping you, kind of a thing. And then you have this 9 of Pentacles. So I told you, everything will work out okay. This is putting everything in order. Karmically, guys, you are putting all the threads together, and you are kind of putting them together and releasing what needs to be released. It's kind of interesting. Look at this. This is Chariot. And Chariot doesn't have, what do you call it, those reins, those strings holding these 2 peacocks. There is like this essence of black and white thinking over here. It's very difficult for you. Look, I have a Leo as well showing up here, and Cancer and Earth signs really strongly. There is this essence of this release that you definitely want to move forward. You want to move forward, and you want to heal many things that have been happening to you. And I really feel that there's like still something missing. There's like still a little element missing. You really need to focus on you, and you were focusing on you differently up to this point. Maybe you're focusing like me, the victim. How about focusing on what you want to do, like kind of like go back into that youth spirit, right? And maybe this truth to be told simply kind of like refers to, hey, you know what, like, I mean, you need to really decide what you want. Maybe, you know, this talks about deception for sure, but it also talks about clarity. Look at that pretty owl. Who likes owls here? Like, raise your hand. You guys, you know what, I really need to hear from you. I'm feeling kind of like lonely here. Like is it that hard, like, to leave me a comment, please? Like, would pretty please help? So there is like this pretty owl, right? And it's some kind of communication, and there is truth, which is kind of like the essence. And you have to understand that there is like the universal truth, there is your truth and there is somebody else's truth, right? And it can be subjective, right? Depending on standpoint, right? It was like this big example in philosophy where you kind of like see the object, right? Like, which is kind of like, let's say, Jesus, I don't even know what it's called in English. You know, it has the circle on the side, and it's kind of like that pin that you roll the dough, right? And that is like kind of long. So if you look at it from this side, it would be like if you put a light and see it on the wall, it will be circle. But if you put it from this side and put it on the wall, it will be square. It just shows that there are kind of like different attitudes that we can actually really have. And people, remember, people tell you very quickly who they are, and you just need to be willing to listen. And the same way people interpret you according to what you say, and when what you say and what you do does not match, it's a problem, or it's a problem in the other people, right? So this is really talking about pay attention about behavior, or pay attention at your behavior. Like, communication is really the key. And remember that your truth is always based in your personality and experiences up to now. It is probably your interpretation that you have been going about this, and it sounds like you're saying to yourself, it has been hard, and why are things not happening for me? Did I not just tell you about 11s? You are swimming upstream, right? So I don't know, it's also coming through like art over here. And look at, there's like this big window that is like into, like, I mean, are you willing to kind of like find it and just like be so excited about something new? So you also need to speak your truth, whatever it is. You know, people are sometimes afraid of saying things because what they say might be hurtful to the others, or it might be ugly. It might not present us in the best possible way. But how would you be able to change yourself if you don't speak it? Another thing is that sometimes we change. Sometimes we change, but the other people are not changing at the same time. So they are pegging us and telling us, you're still this way, still this way. I did see some really, really pretty thing that somebody sent me, and I posted on my Facebook. So hello, join my Facebook, join my Instagram. And it was saying something like, you know, when you evolve, it means that maybe other people want to evolve, because we expect, again, ego, selfish. We evolve, well, things will work out. After all, that's the kind of like the basic train of thought. We have to do new things and we attract good things. But you know, that also means different people. Like if you're, for example, an alcoholic, you literally have to wipe out all your alcoholic friends if you are to change. The same thing here. The change, which kind of like I see here, change in the wind, that is really showing up, it's really telling me don't be in any hurry. I don't know, like it's a zebra, but I kind of like start thinking, well, you guys, this like centaur, right? Half horse, half man with an arrow, and this little tower almost looks like an arrow. And I'm seeing this kind of like freedom over here. So there is like something about your heart. Your heart hasn't been open. Some of you had issues with work. Maybe some of you lost your jobs, or like there's like some issues with the finances. Otherwise, you need to release some kind of like sense of that constriction and anxiety. Being in the water, swimming and washing yourself this month, especially with essential oils, will be very, very beneficial. You know, you need to kind of resist that ego, and that's going to be really, really hard. Like just almost like trying to get out of yourself and just like speak what you need to do, like that. Breathing these messages. So breathing is oxygen, right? We see oxygen in the water, in the air. Like these are kind of like stuff that's going to be really, really important, because I feel here that your relationships maybe went through the periods where partners seem completely out of sync, and there was lots of stormy emotions. There were other people over here, and they either took everything down, or like your life is like wobbling like this, and you're like really feeling, oh my god, I am walking this tightrope, I am tired of this, right? But these rough seas that we see over here offer basically the opportunity for mutual growth. You know, there is like this 12-step program, and one of those steps is to go to the people who maybe you think you didn't hurt them, maybe you think you did something right. You know, there are always two sides of the truth, right? Pancake always has two sides. And if somebody told you hurt me, why not to go and say, I'm ready, beat me, tell me, because that would mean this card would turn around. That would mean then you're becoming you're going into this 11, you're conquering, you're mastering that lesson, because you're moving into 12. There's like something about finalizing certain things from the past that is really coming through. I'm really seeing lots of exes, lots of things from the past going on. You kind of like willing to move forward in a new direction. There's like still that, you know, this is kind of like also your card, willingness to kind of really continue doing what you were doing, but you will not be allowed. I'm telling you, I spent 40 years of my life being knocked back on my karmic path, and it just like didn't let me go in the direction where I wanted. You see, this is why he doesn't have the strengths, because he is allowing God or karma or spirit, whatever you kind of like believe in, to guide. And when you do that, your life becomes much easier. So these rough seas are now opportunity for you to kind of cleanse. So take kind of like temporary shelter if you need kind of like to recharge and kind of like remove yourself from drama. But the air will clear. That's why you have the breeze thing over there. So I actually want to pick on these major arcana. So let me see why we have the oh my gosh, the Emperor over here. And look at that, you're getting two majors. We are getting a repeat of Chariot, and we are getting the High Priestess. Both of them are ruled with the moon. It is like something that is really uncomfortable for you. You are a fire sign. Fire sign is basically energized with action. So fire and earth and fire and air would be kind of compatible elements, where fire and water would not. And it would really need lots of balancing for fire and water to kind of like come together to create something good, right? If it's too much fire or it's too much water, it's kind of not good. And this entire year card is really talking about kind of like joining and being able to merge these two possibilities. The High Priestess is like about being intuitive. Everything is about being intuitive over here. Maybe you'll be sending messages or receiving messages from somebody else, and intuitively through dreams. Maybe you're going to just like run into somebody's name, think of somebody, and that's probably because there is like still this connection. Don't just like put it on the shelf. Kind of like work on it. Work to see where is this taking you. Very important. So let's see the Hangman reversed. And the Hanged Cat. Judgment. I told you, something from the past. The past lover. There is like somebody from your past whom you cannot forget. And you cannot forget this person, my dear Saggies, because this was like something very important. Look at this. The Judgment is always the card that talks about the raising phoenix. And almost like it feels like that for a long time you felt no matter what you do, you're not going to get anywhere in that relationship. You cannot call back, you cannot contact, you cannot do squat about that. Well, you have this opportunity. To not tell you, do not play a victim. Just sacrifice yourself instead. When you already want to be a victim, then just be it. And then at least you get karma points for it versus pretending to be and you're not really, because you're doing it on your own terms. That's the difference. You have to do it on somebody else's terms. That's when it actually makes a difference. And then things are finally creating that beautiful rainbow. Look at this beautiful Lover's card. I'm actually getting like goosebumps on this one. So the Lover's card is exactly the opposite of the Devil card. And the devil is reversed, which means this whole essence of hardship and somebody else really needs to come to an end. So what else do we have here? Oh my gosh, you're getting this major arcanas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be really, really big month for you. It could be somebody in the air signs, in the air sign. It could be that you're fearing. You're definitely fearing somebody, or if you don't want to contact them, or you feel lost. Why do you think this cocoon is here? Do you really feel like if it opens that you're going to just die? Why not feel, hey, I'm going to be free? And that's exactly the thing. You need to break through. I want to break free. So kind of like need to do it. The daughter of swords is Page of Swords, and this is really talking about somebody who is very inquisitive. Answers need to be given. Maybe you need to give yourself answers, maybe you need to give it to somebody else. This is definitely about getting you out of some sticky situation that has been holding you down. You need to kind of like figure out again who you are, what are your interests, and what is really that you want in this life, and go from there. I did actually something else that I picked over here to seal the reading for a change. And guys, don't forget, I do have still some room to take people in December, so you can still order your private reading. There are going to be few specials only for my ex-customers and only for people who are on my mailing list. So go on my website and put yourself on the mailing list. I pick up a rune to seal your reading, and I call this chicken legs. It's actually called Saggies, and it's the rune of self-interest, right? So healing yourself while you're releasing things is really going to be important. This is really connected with magical power. Chicken legs, magical power, of course it makes sense, right? And indicates that time is like to dedicate the time to yourself, and we are seeing it here as well. And this basically means maybe by following a personal interest, and just like here, enjoying things that you always enjoy doing, where you don't depend on somebody else, where you can just be true and authentic to yourself. And that way you'll start shedding all this kind of like crap that started to stick on you, right? This also talks about willpower, and regarding difficult tasks, it's kind of like going to reassure you that you will have a result to carry through. So whether this is like finding a job, cleaning your karma, getting back with that soulmate of yours, or quitting smoking, losing weight, you're going to find this kind of like willpower that's going to be really necessary to cut like any kind of like bad habits that you might have. So my dear Saggies, I hope you like that. Again, my website is cattarot.ca. My information is down below. Please join my Facebook, join my Instagram, and I am so looking forward for you to be here with me next year. And if you're not a subscriber, I would greatly appreciate if you press this button. And until the next time, please don't forget to order your annual $19.95 for one or $39.95 for all signs. But this can be cut off anytime, so you have to kind of go and check on my website and see if this is still on. So thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you early next year. Love you. Good talking. Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Sophie, say Merry Christmas. Say Merry Christmas. Where did it go? Yeah. you.